time between getting into the booth and then the time after leaving the booth were the scariest part for me for a while. All of it was terrifying for a long time. Just truly terrifying. I still play like AAA games and stuff. Don't come for me, AAA game studios. I love you still. I promise. I'll say is there's so much pressure on AAA studios right now to be everything.
What's your Mount Rushmore? Top 4 games of all time. Harvest Moon in there?
You know stuff. You've done some research, my guy.
When they say you're going to be the lead of a major PlayStation franchise, right? Okay, it rests on your shoulders. Okay, if this doesn't work, it's your fault. No, but Horizon, you know, with all this going on in your head, did you feel the pressure? And...
Oh my god, I felt so much pressure for all the reasons you stated. I feel like there had been a game with a female lead that hadn't done particularly well. And I remember the narrative around that game being like, well, it was because there was a woman as the lead. Of course no one bought it. I felt that all through the recording of the first game. It was interesting because it was the most that I've ever advocated for a character.
Ladies and gentlemen, look who we have here on the show today, Ashly Burch. How are you? Great to see you.
Great to see you too. I'm doing well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How's 2026 been for you so far? Good, bad, in between?
What a big question. Wow.
Where do you start?
I mean, all the colors of the rainbow, I guess. It's been fulfilling. It's been enraging. It's been scary. It's been fun. It's like... it's kind of been everything, everything in between, you know, of like good and bad, for various reasons, global and personal. I feel like since 2020, the answer to that question has been so complicated, you know. So yeah, I think what I will say is I think that the sort of tools that I use to help myself and stuff, I've really been on those. So when the world gets crazy, I have a lot of like support and tools I can lean on so I can keep myself steady.
Like meditating, therapy, what kind of things are we talking?
Yeah, meditating, therapy, friends, hobbies. I'm in some different groups that help with that kind of thing. So I say this in one of the I'm Happy You're Here episodes about therapy, but I really have to do a little bit of everything. I can't like... maybe there are people like this in the world, but like that can just take a medication or just do a thing and they're like, great, that put me back to where I need to be. I have to like mainline, put it all in my veins, baby.
What are those positive things? What are those hobbies that you've been tackling?
I do aerial silks, which
What's
for
that?
So for the uninitiated, you may have seen it in like, if you've ever gone to the circus, for if anyone goes to the circus anymore, or
Not
in
for a
Cirque du
few
Soleil.
years. Circus du
Yeah,
Soleil,
right.
yeah.
It's not like it comes through town, like, you know. Probably the place that you would see it is Cirque du Soleil, but basically, there are 2 colorful silks that come down from the ceiling, and you climb them, you wrap yourself in them, you drop in them.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's so fun.
Where does one go to do that?
Well, in LA, we're lucky because there's a bunch of studios. So I have one that I love, but I was surprised actually. There are like lots of different places you can train, and there are different apparatuses. So aerial is like the umbrella, and then underneath aerial, there's silks, and then there's lyra, which is like the hoop. If you've ever seen anyone like doing crazy stuff in a metal hoop, that's lyra. Now I know that there are lots of different weird types of apparatuses. Like I just went to class with someone who said that she made a dick, like an aerial dick. And I was like, and people like perform on it and stuff. She's like, oh yeah.
So if Cirque du Soleil came to town and said, look, our guys are out, Ash, we need you for
They
one
would never,
night.
but please continue.
For one night. We need you for one night. Can you cover? And would anyone suspect that you're not part of the crew?
Everyone would suspect. Everyone. It'd be immediately like, what are you doing here? you're not supposed to be here. Did you get lost?
You'd
I've
stand out
gotten a
like a
lot
sore
better,
thumb.
I will say.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not like. So there's this one, probably one of the most famous aerialists in the world right now is this woman named Mizuki, and I just saw her in a Cirque du Soleil show, and okay, how to describe this in a way that's not deeply boring for people that don't know aerial. So, Matt, like, you know how you can like, do a roll, like when you're a kid, you do like a roll forward or whatever, right? Like you tuck your head and you roll forward. So she can do that. There's a thing called a wheel down, which is basically that, but like horizontal. So you wrap yourself up and then you twirl down the silks.
Yeah.
So she does that like 30 feet in the air, fucking crazy fast. Like she's doing like 4 rotations every 0.5 seconds or something. Just brrr, like all the way down,
And I feel like there's no crash pads either when I've seen that.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the other thing too, which because in class you climb up. But in Cirque du Soleil there's like a motor and they just shoot you up. And from that alone, I'd be like, like I'd be screaming, like everyone would know.
Oh, I don't know how we got to that. Oh yeah, hobbies. So are you still gaming? Because I know in an interview in 2014 you said, gaming, we've still got a ways to go. We're kind of not there. We're still growing up. Do you think we've grown up yet, or what?
Dang, you went back. You found a deep cut interview. I game every day. I love games. I just played Fretless, The Wrath of Rifson. Do you know that one?
No. Is this
it was
new
an
or old?
New. It was an Indiecade finalist, winner, something. But it's like old school graphics, but the sort of way that like indie devs will use pixel graphics because they're easier to.
What's it called? Fretless.
And it's a turn-based RPG.
Oh, nice.
That is also a rhythm game. And it has like QTE, like hit it on beat at the right time and you'll block more or you'll hit more or whatever. So I just did that. That was really fun. Very satisfying. You have like different guitars that have different abilities. It's also like a light deck builder almost as well.
Oh.
My answer to that question is that indie games are eternally interesting. So
that's
for that,
where you go. Is that where you go usually in that space?
Often, yeah. Like, I think I still play like AAA games and stuff. Of course. Don't come for me, AAA game studios. I love you still. I promise. But what I find is like, you can just do really weird shit in indie games. You know what I mean? That like, there's so much, the thing I'll say is there's so much pressure on AAA studios right now to be everything. Like you have to make an 80+ hour game. It has to have like 70 different games in it. You know what I mean? And like have an interesting story, have really amazing graphics, all this stuff. If you're a team of like 5, there's still a ton of pressure on a team of 5. But I think there might be more room, especially because you're not beholden to like stakeholders and people giving you money and necessarily. Obviously, caveat, because a lot of 5-people teams are under that kind of pressure. But you can do weird shit. Like last year,
they kind of all blend together, don't they?
This is the problem since 2025 or 2020. See, I just did it. Is this the correct game? Yes. So last year I played a game called Consume Me. Do you know that game?
Man, you've got some hidden gems. No, I don't. Yeah. I'm sounding like I'm not in this industry. This is bad. Consume Me. Oh yes, I know this. This is a cool game. Yeah.
So Consume Me is like
solo dev, wasn't it? I think
or like 2 people.
Or 2 people, yeah.
But it's kind of an autobiographical story of this woman who had a problem with disordered eating. And the game is kind of about the experience of being someone that like grapples with disordered eating, but it's also extremely funny and charming. Because she's a really great artist, and like the way that she draws and animates the character, you just love her immediately. And like it is this interesting thing where like it's not a perfect game, but there are moments that are deeply moving.
Mm.
Um, so long answer to your question, which is that I think in some ways games have grown up. In others, I think it's not really a problem with games
The community.
exclusively. It's a problem with like money and the way
Oh,
that the world
okay.
is
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel like that pressure is on like every industry right now.
Do you
Which
feel
is to
that
like,
pressure as an actor? Does that come down to you, or do you kind of
hmm.
not get hit by that as much?
Well, there's always ripple effects, I think,
Mm.
because like TV is getting kind of squeezed right now, right? Because there was COVID and then the strikes. The prestige TV bubble kind of burst. And then that means that there are less things being made, which means that there are more people vying for a smaller number of roles. There's also like, I don't yet know how ubiquitous it is or how many devs are using it. Obviously, there are some, high profile games that have like completely AI casts or have since backtracked from having
Surely
completely
not.
AI
I'm
casts.
not playing that.
I know, but there are some. It's
I know,
crazy.
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that is a ripple effect onto actors for sure,
Mm.
which is um when industries get squeezed or the perception of them being squeezed or they feel like their profit margins aren't blah blah blah, then they try to find where they can cut corners. And now with
Yeah.
AI, they're like, maybe we can cut people, which is
The
like,
best AI characters are human, like Brian Ducharme in Detroit or Hal in Space Odyssey. Like
yeah.
it's
Yeah, what
humans
is
doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Stephen Merchant's character in Portal 2?
You know, these are
What is his
classic.
name again? I didn't mean to make this
I'm
just a
thinking of
video game quiz for you.
Gladys, but
Well,
that's
Gladys is great. I'm trying to think of Stephen
Ellen.
Merchant's character
What's
in Portal
Stevens?
2.
Yeah, tell me. I'm having a blank.
Wheatley. Wheatley.
Wheatley. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Great character.
so good.
I wonder why they never made a third game.
I know that's a.
So what's your Mount Rushmore? Top four games of all time. Harvest Moon in there?
You know stuff.
Yeah, I know stuff.
You've
Yeah,
done you've done some research, my guy.
yeah.
Harvest Moon 64 is for sure in there. For sure.
Yep.
Ooh, it's hard. Okay, let's see. Harvest Moon
Can
64.
you put Horizon in, or is that a bit too self-indulgent?
Oh, well, you tell me. Is it games that I've
No,
played or
you
games
give me
that I've
yours. Don't. I'm not giving interference. You give me your four. The Harvest Moon, 60.
Okay, can I cheat and have a Mount Rushmores?
Well, okay. So what are the two? One's you're in.
No, one is me as a gamer and one is me as an actor.
Okay. Yeah. No. No. Please. Yeah. I'd love
Is
to
that all
hear
right?
this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to hear this.
Let's see. Harvest Moon 64.
Yep.
Mass Effect 2.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Slay the Spire.
Really
I
nice.
love Slay the
I
Spire.
only just got into the second one. I never played the first, but it's brilliant.
Oh,
Love it.
I mean, they're both fucking excellent.
Mm.
And then Papers, Please, probably
Papers, please.
are my four for
Ah.
gaming. Or that or fuck. Well, it's definitely by that same creator. It's either Return of the Obra Dinn or Papers, Please. Lucas Pope, I think it is. Yeah.
That's
Because
a
those are my
diverse
like
list. I like that.
it's really weird. Yeah, 'cause Harvest Moon 64 was such an important comfort game for me. Mass Effect 2 had some of my favorite characters and one of my favorite narratives. And was the first time that I saw how like gameplay and narrative could actually like effectively influence each other. Slay the Spire cemented. I loved roguelikes from Spelunky, but Slay the Spire really cemented my love for them and like deck builders and like it completely opened up what I thought that I would like about games. So it kind of changed my identity as a gamer a little bit. So that's why that's a big one. And then Lucas Pope's games, but I will, okay, I'll be better. I'll be good and I'll say Papers, Please. Because that one really is to me like the perfect encapsulation of how games do narrative.
Oh yeah.
Like that is a
100%.
game that like has to be a game and is very compelling, very grown up. Speaking of being grown up, very grown up. Subject matter, interesting, compelling, complex, has to be a game.
Oh, that's a great Mount Rushmore. So what's your actor Mount Rushmore now?
My actor at Mount Rushmore, Aloy, Tiny Tina,
Yeah.
Chloe. And then I would probably say Rachel from Mythic Quest because I think that's what taught me how to be on camera and on a set. And that show is very special to me. So that's probably my acting at Rushmore.
With that show, is it kind of a bittersweet how it ended? I mean, because you got to direct the ending, right? You got
Yeah.
to the the show,
Yeah.
and you probably, I feel like I heard you say you never knew when it was going to end. Like you were hoping for another season each year, and
Yeah.
you kept getting them, which was great. A really great show, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, how did that feel? Like, this is a lot
Man,
of your
I mean,
life.
it was. It's crazy.
Mm.
I think because it intersected with the very beginning of mocap for Horizon 2, I remember.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a long, yeah, I feel like I kind of grew up on Mythic Quest, sort of. Um, it was sad. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to complain. We got 4 great seasons of TV. I met an amazing group of people, many of whom I'm still friends with to this
Friends, yeah.
day.
Actual friends, yeah.
Yeah, like actual friends.
Mm.
I just texted Imani, who plays Dana, like 10 minutes ago. uh, so it's hard to be bummed, but yeah, I do kind of wish we had had one more season to like,
Yeah, I
and
know.
and to know that we were gonna have that was gonna be the last one, and then to really get to write to that, you know.
Did you think you were getting one more? Was that the gist?
I
Or
was hoping. You never
mm,
know.
mm.
But I was hoping. It was well reviewed, and I was like, maybe, but you just never know. I mean, it's
Like,
such a weird.
how do you write a show when you don't know if there's going to be that many seasons? How do you get, you see what I'm saying? Like, how are
Oh,
you able
totally, yeah.
to, yeah, that's just super difficult, I would have thought.
Well, this last one we filmed 2 endings,
Yeah, I
actually, for
know.
that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see
Yeah.
the original, or did you see
I think I saw the canon one. Yeah.
you saw the canon one? Okay. So
Yeah.
the one it went out with was Poppy and I and Kiss.
Oh,
And
no.
then they freak out afterward, like, what the fuck did
So,
we just do?
so they've gone in and changed that like a
Hmm.
game, patched
Yeah, they
like a
patched it. They
game.
patched the show. They
I've
patched the
never heard
show.
of that ever before.
We've
I
done
feel,
it. We did it twice on the show, actually, which is fascinating.
what was the other one?
The other one was F. Murray Abraham's character,
Mm.
CW. In the pilot, I think, there's like a picture of him with an award. And then we actually ended up doing an episode that is like a backstory episode for CW where I'm forgetting his last name, Jesus, Josh something, who's a very talented actor, plays CW as a young CW when he wins that award. And so
So
Rob
you
was
changed
like,
the photo.
yeah, change the photo.
Oh,
So they
that's
changed the
cool.
photo. So now when you
That's
watch it,
cool.
it's Josh, which is
Jeez,
wild.
that's attention to detail. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of wild? And when they did that, I was like, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh my God, they're patching the show. You
So
can do that.
so why shoot the 2 endings? How did that all, like, what
Come
was the,
about.
yeah.
Well, the idea was that if we got another season, that we wanted something cliffhangery, something that would like set us up to do a lot more story and have Ian and Poppy in a complicated place going into what we would then assume, I think, is a final season. And
Yeah.
then them kissing was such a big like swing that Megan Gans, the co-creator, was like, if this is our last season, I do not want this to be how the show ends. Because
Mm.
they were platonic. And frankly, I think if we had gotten another season, that season would have been about them being like, we definitely should not have kissed. I do not feel that way about you. You know what I mean? Like, it would have come back around to them being like a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah, her thing was like, if this is our last season, like we cannot go out with like Poppy and I in sucking face. So that was sort of the impetus behind it.
What have you learned about writing from your brother? Because I know he wrote a lot of Borderlands 2, which I believe is the
Mhm.
best in the series, personally.
Yeah.
What have you learned from him in terms of writing?
I mean, we have such a similar sense of humor because we grew up on all the same stuff. Like, we grew up on a lot of British TV. We watched a ton of Spaced. We
Wow.
illegally downloaded a lot of Spaced. Well, actually, we illegally downloaded it, and then we got a region-free DVD player so that we could watch it because we were so obsessed. And then we actually watched a bunch of panel shows. We watched a lot of like comedy specials.
Yeah.
So really what he taught me about writing was how to be funny because my whole goal in life was to make him laugh. That's all I wanted was to like make my brother laugh.
And
So
did you
I would
achieve
always try
that
stuff.
a lot?
I did a lot more when we started doing Hey Ash. Like in life, I
Yeah.
would like try stuff and sometimes I would get him and sometimes not.
Mm.
And then I would kind of like hone, you know? And then when we started doing Hey Ash, I was like, oh, this makes him laugh. Or like when I do stuff deadpan like this, or you know. So I think he kind of trying to make Anthony laugh kind of taught me to be funny.
And that was your first game, right? Like actual first
Borderlands 2, yeah.
game?
Mhm. It's my first role.
And
Yeah,
I know you have anxiety and OCD in that,
sure do.
and so and so. Sorry, sorry. You have to
Don't
laugh, don't you? No,
apologize.
you have to laugh. You honestly have to
Oh
laugh.
yeah.
And that's what your show's about, by the way. You've got it. It's a brilliant show.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, I'll link it in the description for anyone that hasn't seen it. We'll talk about it later. Um, Tiny Tina, Borderlands 2, first role, learning the business, learning how to act, but you've got him as a director, right? That would have
Yes,
helped
yeah.
ease the nerves, anxiety.
Yes, totally.
Mm.
That would I am really grateful for thousands of reasons. But yes, it was really like doing an episode of Hey Ash in a different physical context. Like the scariest thing was going into a sound studio and there's an engineer there, and then you go in a booth and you're by
Oh yeah.
yourself. It was my first time, and it was what I had always wanted to do. I'd always wanted to be a voice actor for games. But there was something about being in that physical space and it felt so professional. Like Hey Ash was never professional. Like it was a miracle if we were white balanced. You know, things were out of focus a lot. You know what I mean? Like we were all,
But
it
that's the
was
charm of
just,
it, you know.
oh yeah, it's so low grade. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was like the most professional setting I had been in. And so the fact that it was my brother, it was our sense of humor. And I kind of just reverted back to how it always was just make Anthony laugh. Just try to make Anthony laugh. That's your whole job.
But did it take you much to become professional? Did you have it in you?
I feel like I'm still becoming professional. There's different aspects to what that means, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know how far away to be from the microphone. I know how to not to know when to turn my page so that now it's all iPads. But before, when it was physical scripts, it's like know when to turn my page so that I don't make noise if someone else is speaking, if we're doing a group record.
Mm.
Um,
Little things, you know, yeah.
little things, but the way when I said I feel like I'm still learning to become professional, and I sort of laughed about it, which is that like as you said, I have anxiety, right? So much of my experience going into studios and stuff was like you know a sort of like low grade fever of like don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, which would remove space for things that are good to do, which is like remember everyone's name or um like clock who the casting director is, or like just stuff that's like good for you to remember so that when you get sides and you go like, which are like auditions that you get
Yeah,
sent,
yeah, yeah.
that you can be like, oh, I worked with this person on this other thing, that's great. Just like sort of industry stuff that's like smart to keep in mind. That kind of shit I didn't think about and I didn't learn for like a long time because I was so nervous about the time between getting into the booth and then the time after leaving the booth were the scariest part for me for a while. Once I being in the booth was terrifying. All of it was terrifying for a long time. Just truly terrifying. I remember being in I booked a Nickelodeon pilot that sadly never came out, but I was so scared I was shaking in the booth. And the
Oh,
director was like, it's all right. You got the job. You can calm down. Like, you know? And I was like, okay, you're right, you're right, you're right. Sorry, ha, you know. Um,
yeah.
and then I got to the place where being in the booth was comfortable, but the stuff before and after wasn't. Like small talk, knowing where stuff is, finding the studio, knowing where to park, all that stuff. I would be like, ah. And then once I was in the booth, I'd be like, okay. And that became the safe place. And now I'm trying to extend beyond, which is like, all of it's fine. Like, hey man, what's going on? Oh, great to see you. We worked together before, but like all that kind of shit, which I am not good at. I'm learning to be better at now.
So how far have you come with the anxiety over the years, do you think? Like, so where would you say you were at now? are you a lot different, or is it still underpinning there? Is it
I
still
would
kind
say
of
I'm a lot different
mm,
because, like I was kind of saying earlier, I can't remember if we were recording or not, so I'll just repeat what I said,
yeah, yeah.
which is that I feel like I have so many more tools now. So, and I have all much greater awareness. Like before, I would get really, it would just be like a constant stream of anxious thoughts. And I wouldn't even perceive that they were anxious. It was just like, this is how my brain works. And it would just roll through and it would eat up my bandwidth. And that would just be the place that I'm in. Now I can stop and be like, oh my God, like, what was it? I was just saying, oh, I was just telling my husband, it was funny because I clocked it. I had to, so I'm Happy You're Here has released pins, our
Oh,
first piece of
nice.
merch.
Nice.
It says
Yeah.
breathe, it's a little heart that says breathe, bitch. Um, and so my producer friend and I, Josh, had like packed all the pins and we had a couple of international orders. And so we have this like fun little machine that prints all the things out and you slap them on. And the international orders had 3 of those. And I was like, oh, weird. Okay. So then I was like, I'll just go to the post office and I'll ask the question about these things. So when I get to the post office, there's like 2 people there. And I'm standing in line and a huge line forms behind me. And immediately my brain starts going like, fuck, 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 fuck. Nothing's happened. But immediately I'm like, what if I get to the window and he doesn't know what I'm talking about, or the
Mm.
explanation is really confusing, or I did something wrong. And
And
then there's this
everyone's
huge
waiting
and
behind.
everyone's
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna feel pressure to just be like, never mind, it's fine. And then I won't know how to send this pin. And then the person's not gonna get their pin, and on and on and on and on. And I had to stop myself and go, that's really funny actually, that you're just spinning out about being at the post office. That's actually hilarious. Second, like I can kind of laugh at it now, like, oh, look at me go, you know?
Yeah.
And secondly, I have a different voice now that I've made louder where I can go, it's okay.
I
You
love
waited in
that.
line like everyone else.
I love that. Yeah.
You get to ask your question and get your answer that you need. And we don't have to leave the window until you know what you're doing. And of course, I went to the window. It was very easy. I did it and I sent the mail and it was fine.
I guess my question is, how do you get that voice to be the loudest?
Years of therapy. I'll
But
tell you what.
is there? Sorry to cut you off again. Is
No, no, no.
therapy also good for OCD though? Would you
It is,
say
yeah.
it is? Okay. Yeah.
It has been for so actually the biggest thing that helped me with OCD was meditation.
Mm.
Meditation was a huge one. Getting the diagnosis because I felt like I had a label that explained me, which really helped. For some people, that doesn't help that much. For me, it helped tremendously because
Mm.
I felt really crazy. OCD makes you feel so crazy because for those that don't know, because for a long time I thought it was just like, oh, you have to wash your hands a bunch of times or you have to like flick a light switch on and off a bunch of times. And that is OCD. But OCD is defined by like OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, right? The obsessive part is mental. It starts in your brain, which is that you obsess over something. And you've probably heard the phrase intrusive thoughts. It's like kind of a meme
Yeah.
now.
My
Like I
friend
let the
has
intrusive
them. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Mm.
So there's like kind of a meme of being like, oh, I let the intrusive thoughts win. I pulled the fire alarm. Um,
Hmm.
that's kind of it. But for lots of people, there's like, if you have OCD, the intrusive thoughts can be like really disturbing. So like they range from violence to weird sex stuff to fear
Anything
of
really.
getting sick, like anything. And the fucked up thing about OCD as well, I hope I can swear I have been
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that.
Please do continue.
Okay, great. The fucked up thing about OCD is that the more you care about a thing, the more your
It
intrusive
latches on.
thoughts will
Yeah.
latch onto it. So, for example, a very religious person, if they have OCD, they will like, it's a good chance that all of their intrusive thoughts are going to be sacrilegious.
I
And
haven't
that's
thought
because
about that
that's going
one.
to be
Yeah.
the most disturbing thing for them. And so the way the intrusive thoughts work is that they hit you, and then the way that your brain processes them, it cannot tell the difference between what is really you and what is the thought. For some people, they'll get like a violent thought out of nowhere and be like, oh, that's weird, and let it go. For people with OCD, they go, is that me? Do I want to hurt someone? Like, do I need to worry about that? Is that really how I feel? And then you ruminate. And that's where the obsession comes. And then the compulsion happens when you do checks. So like example being like, did I leave the stove on? And I have to go back and check, and I have to go back and check. For something like being afraid that you're violent, you might be like, your check might be internal. It might be standing next to someone on a street and being like, do I want to push him? Do I want to push him into traffic? And then you might get an intrusive thought of pushing them into traffic and be like, fuck, does that mean I want to push them into traffic? Or
Which
did I
we
just...
all do, but
Right, exactly.
yeah,
But
the
with,
average
yeah,
person will just brush it aside, whether
yes.
OCD person will latch on and think about it all day. Yeah.
And think it means something about them.
Latches under
So
the morals, yeah.
right. Usually, yeah, it often I think afflicts very moral people because you care. You don't want to be the type of person that would push someone into traffic. So for me, actually, I learned about the meditation I used for my OCD in therapy. But I do different meditation now, but for a long time I did mindfulness meditation, which is all about treating your thoughts as neutral no matter what they are. So the practice is you're sitting and you're focusing on your exhale, and then when thoughts come in, you go, oh, there's a thought, and you label it thinking and you let it go, no matter what it is, which for people with OCD is challenging, but it literally rewires your brain. If you can train your brain to treat every thought as neutral by doing something like a meditation, it can really, really help.
My friend, he knows, he can even laugh about these intrusive thoughts, and he knows that they're not right, but it's a
Right.
feeling in his stomach that doesn't go away for a day, or you see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they're grappling with at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like such a sustained amount of anxiety that I can imagine if it impacts your body, you know?
Mm.
Like when you hold anxiety or any feeling like that for a long time, yeah, it can fuck up your guts. It can affect your heart. Like there's all sorts of stuff that like the emotional body connection is a real thing. I have a fucked up stomach too because I started having OCD, or I recognized it as OCD when I was like 10. Um, and that coincided with some like gnarly stomach stuff. And then once I got a diagnosis, it helped a ton. Um, but yeah, since then it's been like it's therapy, it's meditation. I got on medication in like 2021. That helped a lot. Um, and then just keeping at all of those things since then. Like I just have learned over time how to build on the scaffolding of like my support because I was frustrated for a long time that like how am I not cured was the
Yeah.
feeling. I've been in therapy for X amount of years. I've been fucking on meditation for X amount. I've been meditating, da, 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 da. And the truth is, I had to like shake things up. So like I was in talk therapy for a really long time, and I hit a wall, and I needed to go to EMDR, and that was like a thing that I had to shift. I had to try a different thing, and
And that worked?
it did. It helped a ton.
Mm.
And it was just one of those things that I sort of realized like, and I think I'm in more acceptance now of like, I'm going to be doing some form of mental, body, spiritual management my whole life. And it's just going to be, I
Yeah.
just have to be like aware and willing to like shift stuff around, you know?
That's a great
Like,
outlook.
yeah, like this
Yeah.
medication might not work for me forever. Okay,
Mm.
I'll have to find a new one, or I'll wean myself off. Or maybe this meditation that I like stops working. I'll find a new one. Like,
You got to
I
be
have to
open
think
to
about that.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last one on this, did you do any, I mean, we could talk about this all day till the cows come home. Um, did you ever do exposure therapy for OCD?
Not for OCD. Um,
Interesting.
I've sort of done it, I guess. I've sort of done it relationally. I
Mm.
have some like relational fears,
Oh,
and
okay.
I've sort of like I've been in a relationship for like 10 years now. So part of that you could say is maybe exposure therapy to my relational fears because I've like committed to someone. Um, but not for OCD. For OCD, it was, I think, a combination of meditation, medicine, and therapy that really helped. Um,
Do you mind if I with the relational was it a commitment issue? What was the
So, shall we talk about attachment theory? Um,
Oh, this is what I mean. We could go on for so long. Yeah,
I
please.
know there's like an endless well. Um, so everyone has different attachment style. There's a if you subscribe to this theory, which I do, obviously, everyone has different attachment styles when they are developing as a child. So attachment styles are basically whatever like however you attach or come to rely on your primary caregiver, whoever that is,
Hmm.
mom, dad, grandparent, uncle, whatever. Um, and there are different styles based on how healthy that attachment was. So secure attachment is when you're like, when I cry, caregiver soothes me. They fulfill my needs. They show up when I need them to show up. They are reliable. They're consistent. I feel safe in the world.
Sounds like my son. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done.
Yep. Yep.
You done good. Uh, then there's like avoidant attachment, which my understanding, I could be getting this wrong, which is like, because I'm not avoidant, but I think what it means is you're used to no one being there, basically. So you learn to take care of yourself, which means you have a lot of difficulty relying on people
Hmm.
because they've proven from your earliest connection to be unreliable. And then there's anxious attachment, which is what I am, which means your caregiver was inconsistent. They were sometimes really there and really
Interesting.
present and really took care of you, and then
Mm.
sometimes were maybe angry or scary or absent or whatever. So you kind of got bounced back and forth between those two things, and you could never rely on them. So it was this strange thing of like, who am I going to get? Am I going to get loving caregiver? Am I going to get scary caregiver? Um, and so that's like that's how you form your attachment style, is with your primary caregiver. And then inevitably it shows up in your relationships as you age. So that's sort of why, there's that sort of cliche of like you end up dating your mom or your dad. And really it's because you're drawn to the same sort of attachment style when you get older. Um, and in an ideal relationship, your attachment style gets triggered, but then your partner is safe enough that you can heal it with them.
Wow, you've put this so well. You know, it's like you've got a show about this stuff.
I know, it's crazy, right?
um, so with all this, how when they say you're going to be the lead of a major PlayStation franchise, right? Okay, it rests on
Uh-huh.
your shoulders. Okay, if this doesn't
Yeah.
work, it's your fault. No, but um,
Uh-huh.
Horizon, with all this going on in your head, the performance, massive game, at that time, I don't believe there was many games where you could play as a woman,
That's correct.
um, RPGs. I
Hmm.
can't think of many. There might have been a
Hmm.
couple, but not many where you could just play as a female. So yeah, talk to us about that pressure. Did you feel the pressure,
Oh my
and
God.
how do you feel
Yes.
coming out the other end of it as well?
I felt so much pressure for
Mm.
all the reasons you stated. I was hyper aware of
Yeah.
the fact that I feel like there had been a game with a female lead that hadn't done particularly well. And I remember the narrative around that game being like, well, it was because there was a woman as the lead. Of course, no one bought it. And so when I auditioned for Horizon, I had no idea what it was. Um, I knew it was a player character from the audition because there was like a dialogue tree, but that could have meant anything. I could have been the female protagonist and then there would be a male protagonist. Like I didn't know, right? And then they showed me the first look of the gameplay footage that I had ever seen. And I was like, oh no. Oh boy. Because it was
Yeah.
that first E3
Not
demo.
E3, yeah. God, that was incredible. That
It was
that demo.
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean,
The graphics were just, yeah,
gorgeous, like
yeah.
unbelievably beautiful. Um, and I was like, that that's the only one, huh? It's just her? She's the one you play? Okay. All right. Great. That's fine. Cool. That is like a core memory for me, is seeing that and being like, oh fuck, this is going to be a really big deal. And I felt that all through the recording of the first game. It was interesting because it was the most that I've ever advocated for a character in my career. Yeah, I really had the experience. Like I said, I was anxious for a long time, from the moment I stepped into the studio until the moment I left, and sometimes after. So I would really come in being like, what do you need? Whatever you need. Whatever you need. I'll do whatever you need. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like, I just really wanted to do a good job and wanted people to like me and think that I was good. And because of the pressure that I felt, knowing this is a major Sony title, she is the only main character. I know what people say about games that have female characters as the lead. Like, this is a big deal. I really wanted her to hit. I really wanted her to feel like a real character that you could connect to. And so I pushed for my perspective on her more than I would have on any other game. And that also caused me a lot of anxiety, because I would walk to my car being like, fuck, your director hates you. He thinks you're like a diva. He thinks you're da-da-da-da-da-da. And now, having, many years since the first game came out, and having more experience under my belt, not just as an actor, but also as like a writer, as a producer, I'm like, that's my job. Your job is to be the custodian of a character. That's your only job. My job isn't to like give them line ideas, like to rewrite the script, but my job is to advocate for this person that I am, like, that's what you hired me for. So there's a way to do it that is shitty, and there's a way to do it that's professional. And I've sort of learned, if I'm realistic, because I've gut checked with people before, and I have a friend that's directed me, and she's like, I can sometimes tell when you're like confused or frustrated, but you're never like a bitch or something. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, there are ways to do it that are, that could be perceived as shitty, but there's also just like doing the job, which is being like, for example, there's a moment where, I don't even remember, in Zero Dawn, where Aloy's at the top of a tall neck. It could be any time. She's always at the top of a tall neck, but she's falling for some reason.
Yeah.
Speaking of, my phone just fell. That's crazy. What the hell? But I really wanted her to be scared in that moment. There was like a sense of like, she should, like a sort of conversation about like, she should be in control. She and I was like, she's falling off a multi-story building. And I really, basically, and I'd love for her to be like, oh, fuck, like a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like her screaming, but like, I think I always can kind of come back to like John McClane from Die Hard as like the quintessential action hero, right? Because he is basically a superhero. There's no way a single guy could kill that many terrorists, right? But he's freaking out. He's talking to himself. He's like, fuck, fuck, fuck. He's,
So you're saying Aloy's based off... I thought it was Femme Shep the whole time, but I've got it wrong.
Well, of course, Femme Shep's in there, but like that idea of being like,
bit of femme, bit of John.
This person is strong and like superhuman, obviously. No one could fucking be John McClane, actually. But you have to believe that they're not indestructible, or they don't feel like a real person.
No.
Yeah. And so that's a really small moment, but that's part of it. Like, and actually, Jochen Williamson, who was my director for the second game, we had fun with. There's a plot line where you can go up in a hot air balloon. It's before you unlock the ability to fly a mount. And we were like, what if she's kind of afraid of heights? So we did some takes where she's a bit like trying to have conversation with Moreland and then also being like, yeah, okay, so
that'd be me. That'd be me.
Yeah,
honestly.
right.
Yeah.
Like there's something about like you want humanity in your at least I do want some humanity in my
Oh, 100%.
superheroes, you
Yeah.
know?
So
Um,
spoilers, guys, just quickly, if you haven't played Horizon 1, Horizon Zero Dawn, did you always know that she was a clone?
I didn't.
No? No.
What's very interesting about my career is I've played a lot of like doubles.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't
Just
know.
happens to, yeah, just
I'm
random.
a Gemini, if you believe in that kind of stuff. Maybe that's why. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
I've played double. I mean, there's different versions of Chloe. There's
Mm.
different versions of Aloy. There's different versions of my character from Fortnite. There's different ages of Tina. There's
Ah,
like it's happens a lot.
that's
It's
weird.
really
Yeah,
odd.
that
It's
is
really
odd.
bizarre. Yeah.
So you didn't know?
Mm-mm.
They didn't tell you? Wow.
No, I got a briefing on the second game, but I was learning what was happening as I was recording for the first game.
Wow.
So I remember recording the first like Elizabeth Sobek scene and being like, what's happening here? And they're like, oh, so I think they told me at some point what Zero Dawn was before I got to that scene where I play Elizabeth explaining what Zero Dawn is. But yeah, at some point I was like, she's a clone? What? And it was like during a recording session. So yeah, I didn't know going in.
So how was your experience with the second game? After all that whirlwind with the first, it's a massive success.
Yeah.
Ease of pressure or even more that you've got to top
No,
yourself.
more pressure then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
became like okay, it's like because no one knew what was going to happen, right? The
No.
first game was like everyone at Gorilla, me, fucking everyone that worked on a game were like, woohoo! And then it did well, and then it's like, oh, thank God, oh fuck, we have to do it again. And also the interesting thing about Aloy is because she is she you can kind of choose the version of her sort of with those flashpoint things, but for the most part, she has her story, you know? And so that was the interesting thing about the second game too, which is like trying to give her an arc while keeping her uh not too different from the Aloy you knew. Um
Mm-hmm.
While also yeah, making her a real person, which like her story in that one is really like I have all this terrible knowledge now that no one else has. And I feel fucking completely, I feel like Elizabeth. I'm completely alone, you know? And then her arc is learning like, you're not like Elizabeth. You have people. You just have to choose to trust them. So a lot of the first game is, or the first half of the game is her being like, her friends being like, let me help you. And her being like, nah, see ya, you know, which is like, I know some folks that were like, didn't love that. I saw fans being like, come on, it's Erend. But I think that is, to me, the sign of a good character, which is that you don't always agree with the choices they make. We as
Mm-hmm.
audience members know that Aaron's the best and Varl's the best, and like, just fucking trust them, dude. But like, what reason does she have to do that? I mean, they helped her, obviously. But like, let's talk about
Oh,
attachment theory. Fucking
yeah.
like, she grew up an outcast. She never relied on anyone. So
No.
it's a big ask for her in the second game. And that's a big part of her relationship with Beta, I think, as well, is like learning that.
I think graphics are great and all, but the best part about the graphics is the eye detail in the
Mm,
cutscenes. You can see your eyes through the character, like the nuances.
yeah.
Like it's incredible. Even the smile and the facials, like that Decima engine is just on another level.
Isn't it
It's so
crazy?
good. Yeah,
It was
crazy.
the most surreal version of that for me was probably in the DLC for 2.
Oh God.
Um,
Yeah, where she
yeah.
smiles after the kiss. Is that what you're talking about, or no?
Yeah, well, and
Yeah,
also the scene where she on the beach where they're like trying to like Aloy just like fuck, I'm down bad and like doesn't know how to handle it.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And on the mocap studio, I was like processing like get it together and then get back on mission. And it was so crazy to then in the final product see my eyes and her face processing. I was like, oh, that's
You
just
could see
exactly what
it.
I
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, I was like, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I did. And they just but in her face, and they just like, it just captured the
Yeah.
conflict. And they're like recalibrating and then going back to like, go back to your friend slash maybe the kill your girlfriend at some point, who knows? And then like, focus up. And it was the most effective, like, for one of my performances that I feel like I'd ever seen. Like I saw myself in it in a way that I was like, whoa, like it was really cool.
So what scene are you most proud of from both games?
Man, that's a hard one.
Or one that comes to mind. There's probably a few across two massive games.
That scene that we were just talking about, the scene with Seika on the beach,
Yeah.
is definitely one because it's such a different experience for her, Aloy. Like she's gone through this whole arc in the main game of the second game of being available to people, trusting them, letting them in, relying on them. So I think, Ben, who's the head of narrative over there, and the writers were very smart to then have the next thing be like, okay, so she's let people in. She's more open to connection. Now what happens when she thinks someone's cute? So watching her process that when she's like felled these massive creatures and yet still like she doesn't know how to talk to the girl she likes was just so fun to play. And then probably one of the other scenes, I played Beta and Aloy, and
you did.
crazy, right? And the scene where they have their like actual heart to heart, where they like find each other for the first time. I don't know how much of the performance they used. I did a take where I basically acted against myself. So I just did both parts and I went back and forth.
That must have been trippy.
I kind of wanted, I want to see if I can do this. And it actually turned out okay. And I don't know how much of that run they used, and because, you do multiple takes or whatever, but it was a very fun experiment for me as an actor. Like, when do you act against yourself as your scene partner?
Yeah.
And they're very distinct in my mind. They're very, very different. So it was fun to like bounce back and forth.
Do you know what I love? Do you know Astrobot? There's a full Horizon level. It's so much fun. It was so cute. Him
in the little outfit is so cute.
Oh, the whole thing. And the theme is remixed in this like dubstep theme. It's so cool.
It's so good.
Yeah. Man, I hope we get a third game. But anyway, we'll hopefully we'll talk about that another day. I know we got to wrap up here. So your show, tell anyone that doesn't know about this show and why they should watch it, because I think they should. It's an incredible show.
Oh, thank you.
And your podcast too. You and Matt Mercer, that was a brilliant one. Erica recently, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I make a show called I'm Happy You're Here, which is a mental health comedy show specifically for adults. And the reason that I made it was because, as we've established, I'm an adult with mental health issues. And when I was sort of discovering that, I found that there wasn't like a lot of support, or not a lot of like, I didn't see a lot of people, especially back then, talking about it. It's become more common now probably, but there's a lot of like EQ, like emotional intelligence stuff for kids, but I wasn't seeing any for adults. And I was like, we need support. Like, I think when I was a kid, I assumed that you would become an adult and then just sort of figure it out one day, and you don't, is the answer. So I've always wanted to make a show that was like basically like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but for adults. A sort of sweet, supportive, but funny, like not guide necessarily, but resource for people that are dealing with issues that you're never taught how to deal with. So anxiety, depression, bipolar, ADHD, divorce, like anything that you might come across.
Have you done a divorce one?
That's I would love to do that at some point. Either in an interview form or like a long form I'm Happy You're Here episode.
Yeah.
Because it's this thing of like all these things that people go through that they don't talk about or don't know how to talk about, but need support in. And it was motivated in part because a big reason that I felt so relieved when I got my diagnosis, but before my diagnosis for OCD, the thing that made me feel sane was I remember Googling. It wasn't Googling. I did this joke already in a different thing, but I was Alta Vistaing my symptoms. Because I had the internet, and I was like, if I don't figure out what this is, I'm actually going insane. And I remember searching one of my intrusive thoughts, and a forum came up of people that all struggle from OCD. And every single intrusive thought I had. And I was like, it's OCD. Oh, there's a name for this. Holy shit. And then later I went to therapy and I had talked about it, whatever. He's like, oh yeah, you got OCD, all right. Like, you know, and so but finding that forum, I cannot tell the relief that flooded my system. And so since then, I've really had this thing of, what if I can make something that gives that to people? So I'm happy you're here. It's on YouTube. You literally can just search I'm happy you're here. And we have lots of different shows. There's our flagship show, which is like a 15-minute episode that's like a deep dive into anxiety. It was the first thing that we released. And they're puppets also, which is also
how are the puppets going on sale?
Oh my God. You know, it is my dream at some point to make a Winston plushie. That is my dream. For there to be like demand for there to be a Winston plushie. We just launched pins, so that's my first foray into merch. But yeah, so that's sort of the flagship show. I just wrote one also that's about depression that I'm really hoping we can film at the end of this year. That's also like a deep dive in depression.
Are they costly each episode?
The first one was extremely expensive. So that's why we have yet to make another one. And so I'm trying to, for a while we were like, didn't exactly know what form it was going to take. I was like, if this suddenly blows up like crazy and gets millions and millions and millions of views, then maybe I could sell it as a show and like have someone else pay for it. Or I didn't know if maybe we would get brand deals or whatever. So it was very experimental at the beginning. And now sort of seeing where it's at, it's like, okay, it's going to live on YouTube. And that's great because that means like people can access it for free. And we have a Patreon. And so we've been building some funds that way. And we're going to try to shoot like a cheaper version of a long form episode, which I'm hoping is doable. In the first video, we did a lot of like VFX comps, like animated backgrounds and stuff like that. And that just might be out of our scope now, which is fine. Because the biggest thing really is that the puppets are great. That's all I think that you need.
That's all I need. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you need, really. So we have that long, that sort of like flagship long form deep dives into mental health topics. The episodes are funny. I really like to underscore that because I think, as we were saying earlier, like I make jokes about it because you have to. Like it's just talking about mental health and being like, we're going to talk about anxiety today. It's like no one fucking wants to watch that. Like you live with anxiety. You don't want someone to be like, let's be really serious about this. Like you need the release of like, yes, this is real and it affects me and it's hard, but also like, let's fucking laugh about it because Jesus Christ, So yeah, there's the flagship show. Then we have our show, which is also available as a podcast called Wellness Check.
And you enjoy that podcast side of it?
Yeah, it's great that there's other ways that people can access it because I have friends that are like, I'm never going to watch a 40-minute video on YouTube. I'm like, heard, got it. Like, but they'll listen to something in their car. So that one is an interview show, which is really just my little tagline for it is that I check in with my friends to make sure that they're not dead. And then I ask them about their mental health journey.
That's the tagline.
Wellness check, baby. So yeah, I've interviewed, it's mostly been voice actor friends of mine. So I had Matt Mercer on. He talked about body dysmorphia. I had Yuri
Who are you
Lowenthal
working on getting?
I have some Mythic Quest pals coming on soon, which is going to be great. And then other folks that I'm going to try to bring in that have followings in very different fields, which is interesting. So that's really just like an interview podcast show, but with the focus of here is a person you like, but we're going to be talking about their mental health journey, not their career necessarily. So I think Yuri talked about having like hero complex. I just had Erica Luttrell on and she talked about being an outrovert, which is not belonging to any group. Not extrovert or introvert. I didn't know that was a thing until I talked to her about it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we do these mini series, which have been really great, which are like deep dives into things that are support for people. So there's a whole mini series we did called I'm Scared of Therapy that just explains all the different things you would need to know about therapy, what it is, how you pay for it, how you know if you have a good therapist, how to find a therapist, the different types of therapies that are available. And then right now we're
That was
releasing.
fascinating, that one, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's such a black box for a lot of people, and I think already like deciding to go to therapy alone is such a challenging choice to make, that then on top of that having to understand like what the fuck with insurance is like. So I wanted to make something that simplifies it so that if you're like, okay, I might want to go to therapy, that you can like click on one of these videos and be like, all right, this takes you through how you can find a therapist and how insurance works and how you can pay for one and cheaper ways to find a therapist. And then this next one tells you if your therapist sucks. So if you're like, does my therapist suck? You can go to that video and be like, oh, okay, they do. Or, oh no, I'm just scared. Got it. Got to keep going, or whatever. And then the one we're releasing right now is called I Can't Meditate, which is a mix of the sort of idea of let's explain these different forms of meditation, but then also we're offering guided meditations. So
Yeah.
I just released and they're all led by me. So if you like my voice, that can help. But I don't sound like that when I do the meditation. But the first one is a loving kindness meditation. It's a Buddhist meditation, but it's really about like cultivating love for yourself and others. And the comments on that have been really moving because a lot of people are like, I'm crying now and I didn't know that I needed this. And it's very, very, very touching because I feel like the thing that I have set out to do with this show is happening, which I really can't ask for more than that. Yeah.
Keep it going, please. It's really great.
That's the plan. I really, especially like you asked how 2026. Yeah. You asked how 2026 was. And of course, like a big part of 2026 is how fucking crazy the world is. And so this show is really like my way of being of service. I really like when I think about how fucked up the world is, I can go, well, at least we're making I'm Happy You're Here. And it seems to be helping people. So there's that at least.
Can you promise me you'll come back on this show? Because I feel like there's so much more to discuss next time.
I'd love to. It'd be my honor and my pleasure.
Appreciate it. Before I let you go, could Aloy say something to Dan to round this one out? Is that possible?
Yes. Does Dan have something he wants to hear from Aloy?
Why am I talking in third person? No, whatever comes to mind. Whatever comes to mind, please. Anything.
Oh man. I have a poster over here. Let me look at her. Okay. Why am I embarrassed? I have an anxiety disorder. That's why. Okay. Just giggle for the next 5 minutes. Dan, that was a really great interview. Thank you.
Wow. Just turned it on. Man.
I had to do some giggling beforehand, but yeah.
Thank you, Ash. Guys, follow Ash, watch the show, and we'll see you soon, Ash. Thanks again. I appreciate your time.